And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, here we are again, another day helping you win in any marketplace. The local area expert contributors that we bring on the show are the bloodline of this business, and it's we really appreciate those that support this show. I mean, we're closing real estate deals with people from the show. We're referring folks out to our attorneys, our credit experts, Diane Vance with Fairway Independent Mortgage. So we greatly appreciate everybody that supports the show and our cause here at the Consumer Quarterback Show. It's all about consumer advocacy, helping you understand your buying decisions, making you more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. ConsumerQB.com is where you can see links to all of our expert contributors. And these really are the finest folks in all of Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region of Florida that we've assembled, we've vetted, and we bring on the show to help you understand your buying decisions and make you more street smart. 813-750-0550 is the hotline. It's an off-air number. You can call or text 813-750-0550 as well. And we've got a great lineup for you today here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We got the 10-man, you know, Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. He's coming up later in the program. We've got Alex Lima as well, Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts here on the program as well, Black Belt _ Jitsu on Instagram, and John Long as well in the house. John Long, he's doing a great work over at the United States Institute Against Human Trafficking. We're going to talk with him here as well, talk about the southern border and what's happening there. But before we do, we want to thank one of our sponsors, the Bilmar Beach Resort. What a great experience to enjoy right here in Tampa Bay, the Bilmar Beach Resort on Treasure Island. Now, they've got 2 pools on site, Sloppy Joe's Beach Bar and Restaurant. And Clyde Smith always says to book directly, and then he always says, too, that it's a 2-beer beach over there. So it's a long walk from the actual building all the way down to the beach. So it's a beautiful beach. You see people flying kites out there and lots of room. And what's great about that is when you get down by the beach, you don't hear anything else. You don't hear traffic. You don't hear kids yelling Marco Polo and all those games at the pool. So Bilmar Beach Resort, make sure you give Clyde Smith the call. He's the general manager, and let him know that Brandon Rhymes, the real estate quarterback, sent you, and take him up on those special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, we like to feature our real estate listings live here on the program as well to help our sellers profit more when they're selling real estate. If you're listing a property, if you're selling a property, you're leaving money on the table if you're not listing with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. 6819 North Clearview Avenue in Tampa. This is a corner lot home, beautiful property, listed at $329,000 right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. Now, this is a large property as well. You've got multiple rooms, family room, living room at 6819 North Clearview Avenue in Tampa. Beautiful property here in Tampa Bay. 2,600 square feet, just under. Large corner lot home, family room, private fenced-in backyard, extra large shed. Now you also have an extra lot next door where you could build another income property or possibly a mother-in-law suite. You can see all of our listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
All right. So, John Long, welcome in, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having us back.
Hey, my pleasure. So, yeah, United States Institute Against Human Trafficking, USIAHT.org. And a lot of stuff happening, man. You know, this is an interesting time for your business. I mean, it's, your business and your nonprofit organization. Man, it's an interesting time with the southern border, what's happening there, people flooding across, and then, there's unrest in Cuba now, too. I mean, what are you guys hearing and saying on your side?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that an organization like ours has to exist.
Yes.
But we know that the problem of human trafficking has been around for a long time, and it's only getting worse. We've talked about before that human trafficking is moving from the second largest criminal activity to slowly it's going to be taking over the drug world because there's so much money to be made in selling humans. And these are typically, they're selling U.S. citizen kids and women to U.S. citizen men. So this is not an international problem. This is a domestic problem. And when we look at things like the border, we look at people just coming across as they wish with no accountability or follow-up of where these people are going. The human smuggling and the human trafficking is just a growing issue that, again, oftentimes we hear, well, that's Texas's problem. That's New Mexico's problem. That's not Florida's problem. But we know that as a country, it's our problem, and we all have to deal with it together.
Yeah, it's not. It's because what's happening is, and I think I mentioned last time I saw a video where they actually followed one of these unmarked white vans. They had a bus full or a van full, took them to a hotel, and some of them had COVID. Some of them were told to stay in that room for a certain amount of days. But they're sending them to all over the Ohio, Indiana, all over the country. It's not just one state being affected, and they're spreading COVID. I believe intentionally, on purpose. It's part of the plan of the left is to create chaos so they can lock us down again and make us wear these ridiculous face diapers again and run through their whole list of wants that they want to do and take over and make us a globalist economy. Yeah.
And there's no there's no accountability. Where are these people going? It's not an open book.
Yes.
Our government and people aren't being honest with us of what's really going on sometimes, and so it's scary to think about what are happening to these. And these are people. Yep. These they may have come over illegal, but they're still humans that deserve to be treated in an appropriate way, in the way that we need to handle them. So it's just scary to think about what these people are going through. And again, when we look at human trafficking and we have that conversation as a culture here in the United States, we often think about it as something that happens in Hollywood. It's that big Taken movie, and somebody's going to be abducted, or it's happening over in a third world country. But the reality is, it's happening here in Tampa. It's Florida is the third largest state when it comes to human trafficking. And so it's an issue that we have, as an institute, we try to draw attention to have conversations like this, because it's not usually something people want to talk about or even think that we should talk about.
Right. Yeah. Or even know that it needs to be talked about.
Right.
So you've got the MS-13 gangs coming in. We've had, Thomas King on the show, our Second Amendment expert. He owns Florida Firearms Academy. What's interesting is he has these conversations, kind of off-air conversations with sheriff deputies, police officers, ex-military, and they're talking about what's happening that you don't actually see on the news, and it's not reported. Now, sometimes you find stuff on social media here and there if it's not censored on social media. But MS-13 gangs are in the area. They're pushing a lot of these things. The kidnappings, the murder rate, and the big cities. Look at all the big cities. Look at the hike in the murder rate that you're seeing in a lot of the major cities. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and we get desensitized to it.
Exactly.
We stop talking about it. We move on to what other people want to talk about, or there's something that pops up that we want to draw attention away from what's going on to talk about something else. And so MS-13, that's not a gang I would want to mess with. It's one of the most violent gangs in the world. They're not afraid to commit murders and crimes.
Right.
And then, when it comes to trafficking, now they're selling people. It was drugs, it was guns, but now it's people, because they can sell a person over and over again.
Yes.
And what we hear from survivors is when they were forced into this lifestyle, they were typically sold between 10 and 15 times every day.
Wow.
So that's 10, 15 times that somebody is put in a situation they don't want to be there.
Right.
They're not having fun. They're being forced to do it. They're not keeping that money, and they're just being abused over and over again. And we're talking about women, and we're talking about children, and we're talking about boys as well. Boys aren't something we typically talk about as victims of trafficking, but it's a growing issue. They estimate somewhere between 100,000 and 300,000 kids are sold for sex every year just in the United States.
That's so sad.
And 36% of those are boys. And so that's what we want to do as the Institute is draw attention to it. So on our website, the usiaht.org, we have training for parents. We have training for churches, medical professionals, just to draw awareness to this issue and how to identify and what to do if you think someone is a victim of trafficking.
Wow. Do you hold events and fundraisers from time to time?
We do. We have on our website, we have our 5-year anniversary coming up in October. So it'll be launched on our website shortly. Also, our big event that we're currently working on is we're partnering with the NFL through their preseason, and then all the way through to the Super Bowl. So the Super Bowl Alliance that is created has agreed to allow us to come alongside to raise awareness of trafficking. We know big events like the Super Bowl typically bring more trafficking because traffickers will follow that event. They'll bring people that they want to sell at that event because it's a big crowd. And so the U.S. Institute Against Human Trafficking is able to partner with the NFL. We'll be part of the preseason with the Colts. Frank Wright, who's the coach there, he has been a part of our organization in the past. Him and his wife are really strong against fighting trafficking. And so we're excited about this opportunity with the NFL because we know that their reach is bigger than ours. And if we can just get this information out there and reach not just people within our nation, but that's a worldwide organization that we can partner with.
Yeah, you're fighting the good fight, John. John Long, United States Institute Against Human Trafficking here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, USIAHT.org. And Frank Wright, he was the backup to Jim Kelly, wasn't he?
Was,
for the
Buffaloes.
Bills.
Yep.
Yeah, so that backup quarterback, he's almost like a coach, just waiting to.
Yep.
So now he's coaching in Indianapolis, and the NFL partnership. That could be cool. That could be a really big thing.
We're looking forward to it. And he's a great guy.
Now, and you mentioned a good point you made is earlier is that most of the time it's men that are soliciting and bringing in. So it's to the testosterone side of human beings, right? It's like that hard testosterone that we have and that sometimes insatiable desire for sex and that type of a thing. And I believe it's also part of our society moving away from God, moving away from religion, saying, oh, you don't need to do this. By the way, it's okay to get divorced, over 50% divorce rate. The immortality that's pushed on social media, that's pushed on TV, a lot of different networks, just the stuff you see on TV on a regular 8 o'clock hour, you would have never seen 15, 20, 30 years ago.
Sure. You look at pornography.
Yeah.
And you can get on any website. I can't go to Cigar City Brewery website unless I tell them I'm over the age of 18. I have to click the button saying I'm over 18.
Good point.
You can go to Pornhub.com and anyone has availability of that.
Wow.
My son is 13. He can't go to Home Depot and buy spray paint.
Wow.
Because he's not 18, but he can get on the internet and look at whatever he wants.
Right.
And as porn becomes, it's just out there.
Yeah.
And it desensitizes men. They see rape scenes or they see things that are going on, and it starts to normalize within their mind.
Right.
And we know that plays a huge part in trafficking. And so what we have on our website also is if people are addicted to pornography, if they're struggling with their marriage, we have resources on our website that can help with those things. But 20% of men at some point in their life pay for sex.
Wow.
And that's a huge number. And you're right. As we draw farther away from God as a culture, those kind of things become okay. And we know that it's not okay. We're a faith-based organization. We feel called to this fight.
Yes.
And so that's why we're in this.
Man, that's interesting. And I like some of the best stuff that we can tell is the signs, right? Some of the best things that we can pass along as a consumer advocate here on the program is what are the signs? What can law enforcement look out for? What can a teacher or maybe a summertime camp look out for? What are some of the signs that someone's involved with trafficking?
So it's sometimes difficult to see. Red flags are different for women and sometimes with children. On our website, we have very specific training for teachers and for the individuals, for law enforcement. But just kind of our elevator pitch, what we say is if you've got a kid who's always with an adult who has complete control of this kid, the kid doesn't. You ask the kid a question, they don't answer.
Right.
Or even if it's a female and you ask her a question and the man there is always taking control of the situation.
Yeah.
Typically, they don't know where they are. They don't know where they've come from. They lack basic things like IDs because these traffickers won't allow them to have their ID so that they can keep them under their control.
Yeah.
They're sometimes not dressed appropriate for the weather because they don't have things. And so just keeping an eye out, and knowing your neighbors and kind of just keeping aware of what's going on. We had a kid in St. Pete who was sold for sex for over a year.
Wow.
In a neighborhood, and none of the neighbors even realized what was going on.
Holy cow.
And so just being able to just be aware of your surroundings, and then to have conversations like this.
Yeah.
If we can normalize this kind of narrative and the ability to have these kind of conversations, then the trafficker feels like everyone knows what they're up to, and that's one way we really fight the man.
Yeah, absolutely. Crazy movie that I saw on one of the streaming services was the woman in the basement or whatnot, but I guess it was a true story. I think it was in Massachusetts area. Did you hear about that one?
I have not seen that one.
Pretty crazy. I mean, it was a dad with his daughter lured her into the basement, locked her in there. It was like one of these kind of hidden behind a bookcase type of deals. But yeah, was in there for 18, 22 years, 25 years or something, then finally had some type of an incident where one of the kids had to go to the hospital, and that's how they ended up busting the guy. Yeah. But it was based on a true story. I mean, people are sick.
It's a true story. And it's funny that you say that she went to a medical professional and that's how it was found out.
Yeah.
Most people that are stuck in this life, I think it's 80% of women that were in this life have come in contact with a medical professional at some point while they are being sold for sex.
Right.
And so we have a training for medical professionals on what to look for and how to deal with it.
Yes.
But again, it's all about educating the community.
Yes.
And having all these sectors fire off at the same time. And that's how the buyer and the trafficker feels like everyone knows what I'm doing.
Wow. Best contact info, or how can people reach out and help?
USIAHT.org is our website. You get contact information on there. We're on all the social platforms. You can email me at jlong@usiaht.org. I know it's a mouthful, but our contact information is also on our website.
Yeah, U.S. Institute Against Human Trafficking. Use the first letter of each one, .org, U.S. Institute Against Human Trafficking. Great job, man. Keep up the good work out there, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right. Stay with us. So when we come back, Alex Lima, our self-defense expert, martial arts expert, black belt fitness. He's a fitness expert here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to spend some time with him, as well as our feel-good story of the day coming up. Pretty cool. Police officers buy new refrigerator, groceries for elderly woman in need. Stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
My friends, when choosing a listing agent to sell your home, their track record is critically important. Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Real Estate. They're consistently rated by the MLS in the top 1% of all Tampa Bay realtors, and that's a big deal. Brandon and Lindsay are always among the top realtors in the state. Call them today at 813-750-0550.
Find them at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
My name is James DeJerome, and I produce the Consumer Quarterback Show for Brandon Rhymes. The Consumer Quarterback Show is a team, a group of like-minded professionals who partner together to provide our audience sound advice, knowledge, and information to make them wiser consumers. We work with all types of business owners and aggressively promote our local economy. We're currently conducting interviews for our expert contributors. If you own a business or know someone who would benefit from the exposure our show provides, please contact us at 813-750-0550 or online at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
All right, we're back here, Consumer Quarterback Show. We greatly appreciate all that support the program. They support the show by reaching out. You know, we had people last week reaching out, hey, I'd like to get pre-approved through Diane Vance Fairway Independent Mortgage. We had folks reaching out wanting to find out more about how to improve their credit scores with William Crowley. But that's what this show is all about, is being that local area expert contributor or consumer advocate in a sense, where we can help plug you into our pipeline of all types of great expert contributors, CPAs, financial advisors, attorneys, all types of home services available. ConsumerQB.com. 813-750-0550. Please support the show. We greatly appreciate it. 813-750-0550. ConsumerQB.com. Replenish IV Solutions, longtime friend of the program here as well. We want you to feel energized and hydrated and replenished. So Replenish IV Solutions is a safe and effective way to restore your body's systems with crucial vitamins and nutrients, enabling them to perform at optimal conditions. I love going into Replenish IV Solutions on Gandy Boulevard, and I get the vitamin infusion drip. It's all the good stuff right into my bloodstream, helping me stay healthy and energized energized and replenished. Make sure you reach out to Stephen and Lisa Gunn and let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, hot property listing for this segment. We've got 11724 132nd Avenue in Largo. This is a great opportunity, guys, right here in Tampa Bay. Over an acre of land in Pinellas County, which is very hard to come by. You can build additional structures. It's an income opportunity. And you've got property that's currently rented, producing income. 1,200 square feet, 3-bedroom, 1-bath. You got 730 square feet, 2-bedroom, 1-bath. Perfect for builders and developers and entrepreneurs right here, close to the beaches in Tampa Bay. And you can see all of our real estate listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, Alex Lima back in the house. Welcome in, sir.
What's up, man? Always good to be here.
Yeah, man. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you.
And black belt fitness, martial arts, teaching the discipline of martial arts. You know, I love that discipline piece. I love the fact that you get, you know, the workouts in as well. And there's always that self-defense in the back of your mind today with all the craziness going on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the modern person or the lay person that hears about martial arts either thinks about, like, you know, the Karate Kid, or they think like MMA, like cage fighting.
Yeah.
There's a whole aspect and side to it that is not prominent, you know, unless you watch like a deep, like philosophical samurai movie from back in the day or something about like the discipline, the integrity, perseverance, indomitable spirit. I had to memorize these things as a kid, the tenets of martial arts, the code of Bushido, you know, loyalty and respect and all this stuff. And a lot of modern gyms aren't teaching that stuff. They are just kind of like a gym where you come in and just punch, kick, and hey, we'll sign you up to fight because, you know, it looks fun, so people want to do and they want to be the next, you know, want to be Connor or whatever.
And it's
it
a child care for the kid.
Exactly. Oh, with the parents especially, man.
Yeah.
I've been teaching this stuff for a long time. I've taught literally hundreds and hundreds of children, and can maybe count on two hands the amount of parents that actually stayed and watched all the classes.
Right.
You know, because they just drop their kids off. It's a free hour. And I get it. We're busy, man. I want to break from the kid, too, to go do a couple of things. But you should really stay and watch your child progress. I mean, imagine when you were playing football, you used to love the games, right, where your dad was there, where your dad coached you some too, right? Yeah. But, you know, when your mom actually showed up to a game or something, you're like, you know, you want to play a little harder, man, you show out.
Every game.
Yeah, and that's lost nowadays.
Yeah, you're lucky to have parents like that were committed to the sports. They were there at every single thing. I can't remember one time when they weren't there. You know what I mean? But I love what you said there also, Alex. Indomitable spirit.
Yeah.
I mean, indomitable spirit. Think about that. Let that sink in for just 1 minute. Like, if you think about an indomitable spirit, I think about sales too, man. Because in sales, you get beat up. As a realtor, as a salesperson, you get beat up sometimes, man. You get no, you get, you know, F no, you get all those different types of no's and negativity. For sure. So talk to me about indomitable spirit and how that relates to a lot of pieces of life.
Yeah, man. So that's one of the tenets that probably stuck with me the most throughout my life. I have not had an easy life. I'm not telling a sob story, but it's been rough. And one of the things that life has taught me is that I'm durable. And a lot of it I do owe to my background in martial arts. You know, I wanted to be that, you know, that Bruce Lee or that, you know, that Rocky Balboa, that guy that just life was beating them up, but they came back and they were victorious. You know? Yeah. And the lessons that you learn in all sports, but specifically martial arts, is to be durable and to be able to persevere. Because there's a lot of times you're not going to be on the winning side of things. Right. On the mat and in life. Yeah. Whether it's sales or your relationships or just depression, whatever it may be. Yeah. You have to develop that fighting spirit. That's what an indomitable spirit is. It's that warrior spirit that, you know what, I'm not just going to take that beating. I'm going to keep getting up. I'm going to keep getting up, and I'm going to do something about it.
Yeah, that's right. Lick your wounds, heal, learn from it. You know, all the adversity, adversity university. You've heard all these different metaphors and things of that nature. But yeah, and also God has a plan too. Like if you didn't get that particular job or you didn't get into that school or whatever it might be, it's all part of God's plan for you as the individual. I believe more and more as I age and I kind of grow here spiritually and mentally. I see so many times like those unanswered prayers that work out in our favor in many cases. But
yeah, they essentially weren't unanswered.
Yeah, exactly. It was. You'd think it was, but it wasn't.
Redirected.
Yeah. We're coming into a break, but I know any thoughts when we come back? We'll dive a little bit deeper. But thoughts on what's happening in Cuba right now? I mean, heritage. Give us a little teaser if you have anything.
Yeah. For those who don't know, I'm of Cuban descent. I was the first of my family born on American soil, but my blood is Cuban, and I'm very passionate about that subject. So I'd love to talk about it.
Okay, awesome. We'll talk about that on the other side of this break. Alex Lima in the house, black belt fitness and martial arts. Black belt _jitsu. Black belt _jitsu. We'll be right back after this short break. Don't go anywhere.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in your real estate deals. If you're buying, selling, or investing, we would love to help you win in any marketplace. 117 14th Street in Bel Air. Beautiful property, double lot, pool home, walking distance to the beach, surrounded by multi-million-dollar homes. 117 14th Street in Bel Air. This is a beautiful property. You got a jetted bathtub, gourmet kitchen, private pool, temperature-controlled wine closet that holds up to like 460 bottles of wine, I believe. Covered lanai, minutes from Bel Air Beach. Great opportunity to own real estate right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. 117 14th Street in Bel Air, one of our premier listings, $1.2 million from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, platinummvpteam.kw.com. And a quick shout out to Victor and his team over at Chad Irrigation right here in Tampa Bay. If you're looking to add a sprinkler system, any type of irrigation to your property, make sure you reach out to Victor and his team over at Chad Irrigation. They can access lake water, of course, access your well, or even city water. Chad Irrigation. First-hand experience. They're a first-class organization. They did a great job on my real estate property. Reach out to Victor and his team at Chad Irrigation. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent ya. All right, we're back here in studio. Alex Lima's in the house. Black belt fitness and martial arts. Black belt _jitsu. Talk about your social where people can find you and connect, because you got to see what he's putting out. He's putting out some great stuff.
Yeah, if, you can do a Google search, and you can go. You can just look up, Alex Lima, Alex Black Belt Jones. I know there's a lot of names, but it all ties to different things. On YouTube, it's Black Belt Jones, Adventures in Manhood. A lot of great content on there. I recast some of the episodes from here, and I have a podcast that's launching soon that's going to get into some deep and amazing topics.
I love that name.
Yeah, man.
Adventures in Manhood.
Adventures in Manhood. We need some real men back in this world, man.
Yeah, right. That's right. We talked about that last time too, man. Let's jump into the Cuba, man, because people aren't really seeing all that's happening. Where it took like 4 or 5 days for the current administration to denounce communism. Then they finally come out with a half-hearted, communism's bad. What do you see going on there?
So people aren't seeing anything that's happening. A lot of, as usual in the media, things are fluffed or they're being spun in a certain direction. I have, I don't want to say the benefit, but I have access to, I have family members and I know people in Cuba still. And I receive videos of and pictures of things that are truly going on in the street. And it's absolutely disgusting what has occurred.
Yeah.
And a lot of things will be spun in different directions. I believe Venezuela was posting that, there were some people protesting, but really what you're seeing in their media and their news,
right.
Latin American
and their
news,
fake news.
Exactly. They were posting that, but really it's the people in the streets celebrating like the World Cup and stuff like that. That is absolutely not what's going on. People are being ripped from their homes. They're being tortured, beaten, and killed in the street. Young men are being forced, literally ripped, knocking down your door, pulling you out and telling you have to join this militia, you have to join this force, and you have to go out and you have to beat your own people.
Right.
Okay, you have to attack the Cuban people.
Yeah.
And if you don't, we'll kill your family, essentially.
They rule by fear. It's godless.
It's tyranny. It's tyranny. It's a complete. It's communist. It's dictatorship. It's disgusting. Is what it is.
It's taking us back to the castle and the king and the queen. I mean, it's basically the old school style.
Yeah. Well, they never left that mentality as far as ruling goes.
Exactly.
For over 60 years, so several decades, the same people have been in power.
Yeah.
And they have abused that power to no end.
It's a one-party rule. It's very close to what we're getting here. If you look at the universities being ruled by leftists, a lot of the alphabet, different acronyms that they use for these high-level government, it starts with F and it starts with a C and it starts with all a lot of that is ran by our leftists. A lot of the universities is ran by leftists. It's starting to infiltrate. It's been starting to infiltrate a lot here in America, and it's very scary because it's a slippery slope. And the key to know is that there's eternal truths. So if the methodology and the lies that they're feeding don't line up with the Bible, they don't line up with eternal truth, they don't line up with being a Christian or godly, or at least just doing the right thing. They're coming from an opposite mindset, and it's all about rule, and it's all about running totalitarian regimes.
Yeah, there's no humanity. There's a loss of humanity. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane, and it's disgusting what has happened there. My thoughts and prayers go out to the people there. I mean, literally, people, like I said, are being tortured and killed in the street just to be made examples of. That if you rise against us, this is you next. This is your family. Join this force. If you don't join this force, we're going to take your mother. We're going to take your sister. What are you going to do?
Yeah. I've seen some shows also, and it was showing the two tribes. I think I can't remember the names, but two African tribes, the Uniquis and this ones. If they see the other type, they take a machete, they cut the back of their Achilles tendon. They can't walk, or they can barely walk, or whatever. They limp around. They can't fight. Yeah,
it's to make an example of them and to make them weaker, essentially, or to show that they are the weaker of the tribes or whatever.
It's so sad. So, Cuba. Pray for Cuba. Do what you can do. Reach out to your senators, your congressmen. Let them know that you stand with Cuba. Let them know that you stand for freedom, capitalism, and against communism.
Yeah, and more importantly, do it with love and kindness. Yes. In Miami just a couple of days ago, the people, quote unquote, protested out there. It was beautiful. It is not what you're seeing with all these other protests that has taken over the last couple of years.
Right.
It was people by the water waving the flag, singing, basically crying, and it was peaceful and it was beautiful.
Yes.
They didn't riot and destroy property and things like that. People came together, and that's what we need to do as a race, as a species, period.
That's right.
Instead of destroying one another.
That's right, because there's so much race baiting today and just any type of division they can sow.
Don't fall for it.
Yeah, don't fall for it. They're even doing it with the vaccines now. Oh, you're not vaccinated. You should be. You shouldn't be. There's a thing called HIPAA. It's called medical, and it's privacy. They're going door knocking, saying, hey, why haven't you got your vaccine, or have you got your vaccine? Some pretty ridiculous stuff, government overreach going on right now in our country too.
It's a violation of your human rights, not even your legal rights. Your right as a human to choose what you do with your body.
Yes, absolutely.
It's
well
horrible.
Said. Well said. So, Alex Lima, Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, Black Belt _Jitsu. Now, when it comes to self-defense and martial arts and working out, people can reach out to you. You can get in studio at your studio. You can do at their home or their studio, kind of personal training somewhat.
Absolutely, yeah. I got some events coming up, and I have some things. I'm planning to get some seminars rolling for this year. And you can come to me. You can contact me 813-426-1588. And you can either come and train with me, or I can meet you at a park, or we can train at your place or your gym, whatever you would like to do. Just real quick, I'm in September 18th. I'm doing an event called Tap Cancer Out. And we're raising money for that. My goal is to raise $1,000, and I'm already at $400, and I've only been advertising it for maybe a couple days.
Tap Cancer Out?
Tap Cancer Out, yeah.
What date?
September 18th. Yeah, in Winter Haven, Florida. It's a jiu-jitsu match. I'll be doing a jiu-jitsu match.
Nice. Winter Haven. So you're doing a jiu-jitsu match.
Yeah, man, submission, yeah.
Cool.
I've wanted a submission title for a long time, so...
That's awesome.
It's time to do it.
So it's all submission, no punching,
no striking. It's strictly grappling, and it's for charity. So we're not trying to have bloodshed, but don't get it twisted. People get competitive, and it's competitive. People want to win. Nobody wants to look stupid when they're out there. So
Yep.
My plan with that is I'm going to do this event just because it's for a good cause. Then I want to do another tune-up event or fight, and then I want to go for some bigger things and get my name more out there.
Awesome, man. That's awesome. September 18th, Tap Cancer out. Winter Haven Grappling going to take the championship.
Yeah, man. We'll see.
I love it. That's awesome, man. And the best way to people contact you, I think you said at 813-426-1588. So that's a direct dial, 426-1588 Tampa number right here in Tampa Bay, 813-426-1588. And you can reach out to Alex Lima. And, of course, check out the YouTube channel. You got some awesome stuff on your YouTube. Tell us a little bit about the YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's going to get better. I have some technique videos on there. I have some of our great talks that we have on there. I have the podcast that's dropping. It's the Black Belt Encounter. And I'm talking to some world champions and high-level athletes and just back to manhood, great men around the world telling their story and some of their accolades and their journey of how they've become the men that they are today.
Yeah, so it's going to take men to stand up. It's you look at the lockdowns that happened across the country in California. You look at some of the preachers, some of the pastors at large mega churches standing up and saying, no, we're opening up. People can voluntarily come to our church if they would like to attend a service. By the way, you're not locking down liquor stores. You're not locking down the strip clubs and other businesses. They're allowed to be open, but you're telling me in my church I can't voluntarily open my church. That takes a lot of guts. That takes a lot of what. And some of these pastors got locked up. They've got millions of dollars in accumulated fines for standing up against the tyranny of trying to lock us down, trying to put face diapers on us all the time. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, for essentially just trying to maintain positivity and faith in dark times.
Yeah, exactly. So they want to take that away from us, and that way they can control us more. So, all right, hey, good stuff. Alex Lima, support the show, support local economy, support local businesses right here in Tampa Bay. And Alex has a big event coming up on September 18th, Tap Cancer out in Winter Haven. If you want to support him, reach out to the show, consumerqb.com. You can submit an email form there at consumerqb.com. My email directly is brimes@kw.com as well. If you want to send a note to me, brimes@kw.com. And Alex Lima, always a pleasure, man.
Always a pleasure, brother.
Thanks for the insights today.
Anytime.
Coming up, we got Fred Muth, the Tin Man on the Consumer Quarterback Show, local area contractor, highly respected businessman here in Tampa Bay. Tampa Screens and Aluminum on the Consumer Quarterback Show, adding these beautiful aspects to your property, all types of products that he offers right here coming up. Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. Plus, our feel-good story of the day. Police officers buy new refrigerator groceries for elderly woman in need. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is Diane Vance with Fairway Independent Mortgage, a member of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Please give me a call for any of your mortgage needs. We do all sorts of loans. If you would like information on a mortgage, you can text me or call me at 727-647-8199. I will take care of all your mortgage needs. Go to my website at dianevance.com.
Ian Beckles here with my man, Brandon Rhymes, a.k.a. the Real Estate Quarterback. Brandon, what's happening with the market?
Thanks, Ian. We are in a low inventory market, so any of our listeners are homeowners and would like a free comparable market analysis or a 2.5% listing, we will honor this for the first 3 listeners who call or text in 813-773-1253. Free CMA and a 2.5% real estate listing at 813-773-1253. Check out consumerqb.com.
Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. You know, we like to tell you something positive here on the show.
Tell me something good.
So I just love this story. And police officers, they basically out of Texas, what happened is The gentleman's name was Dustin Kincaid. He recently visited a home, and he was talking to the woman, and he was called there on just a call asking to check on the woman. When he arrived, he started talking to the woman, and she had all these issues. She had her refrigerator had went out. She's on a fixed income. She couldn't afford to buy food. So what did he do? He called his fellow police officers at this Texas police department, Seguin Police Department, and said, "Hey, I'm blown away from the response that he got. They pitched in, they got the ball rolling, they got her a refrigerator, they got some food." And his chief, Terry Nichols, took to Facebook to kind of brag about his staff, and rightfully so. And opportunity to brag by a proud chief. It says there are too many SPD employees, both sworn and non-sworn, who gave their personal time and money to help this lovely lady out. Officer Kincaid stepping up. The organization is generous. Organizing this generous effort, went on to thank the woman and whom he befriended. He said he's going to keep in contact with her, and it's such a feel-good story. I love it. Police officers buy the new refrigerator and groceries for the elderly woman in Texas. So there's another example of police doing the right thing, doing the great thing of being a great servant in the community. I love that. Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. Welcome back, my friend.
Well, thank you so much, my friend. I always enjoy listening to Alex. He is such a straight shooter. He's just enjoyable. Met him a couple times. Wouldn't want to arm wrestle that guy, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to arm wrestle him or regular wrestle him. Yeah.
No way. And it's pathetic. You talk about Cuba. History repeats itself. We're going back 60 years. It was just about 60 years backwards, and we had the same issues. Oh, boy. Anyway, on a more positive note, how's your real estate business going, my man?
Going well, buddy. Going well. Things are great. Folks are reaching out to the show, supporting the show, and got some great listings here in the area, and everything's going well, man.
It's nonstop. Our business is just on fire, and I say that every time. It's just coming at us right and left. Obviously, the more people that move to Florida, they all want the lanais, they all want the screen rooms, the patios, the pool enclosures. Pools are selling like hotcakes, so we're selling cages like hotcakes, and it just continues. And there's so much space down here to continue to build. If you ever take a ride up north of Pasco, there's plenty of room up there, and they're developing more land up there, so there will be more people moving into this area over the next several years, and I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure that you are too.
Yeah, Pasco, Hernando, even out, Inverness, Ocala. There's a lot of it seems that's a trend. A lot of the folks that I'm selling their properties, whether it's in, waterfront property in Oldsmar or something else in Pinellas or maybe Hillsborough County, they're saying, hey, I'm ready to move up north, buy a little bit more land, maybe a couple of acres up to 5 or 10, 15 acres, and have a little bit more of that rural lifestyle, Fred. I'm finding a lot of those types of clients right now.
Sure, and then you're 45 minutes from the city. That's beautiful. You can't get any better than that. And at some point I may consider that area myself, because I'm in the Brandon area. It's one traffic light after another. The infrastructure is really not here in the Brandon area to carry the amount of traffic. But that's the price that you pay for prosperity, and we'll have to deal with that. But up in that north area, I see the Suncoast has gone much further. I think that terminates now north of Spring Hill. So that continues. And if you go to Spring Hill from, say, the city of Tampa, you're what, 20, 25, 30 minutes on the Suncoast. It's a nice, clear, clean ride.
That's right.
To get up to a beautiful area up there. I like it very much up there.
Yep.
And we're selling the patios. We don't really draw the line geographically where to stop. I cover 3 counties, and I cover up into that area myself. And I'm up there. I find myself up there twice a week measuring jobs. And of course, a lot of the stuff that we're bidding by email, we're bidding by text, by photos. Any way that we can bid them, we're bidding them. We're still taking between 40 and 80 leads a week right now. And, it's you can't handle it all, but we do our best. There's more than one Fred over at Tampa Screen to handle the leads. And, my hat goes off to the way Tampa Screens deals with it, because there's a lot coming in at one time, and they distribute the leads evenly. And there is very few customers that do not get a return call within 2 to 3 days regarding the request for an estimate. And that matters to me. I would, being a homeowner myself, I would expect a return call within that time period. So it's all working out very well. Tampa Screens is a great company to work with. I just can't say enough good about them. If I didn't like them, I'd go elsewhere. But I like them. They're good people. People. Excellent people.
Yep, Richard and his son, and it is just a really good group, everybody in the office that we've talked to over the years. Talk to me about if somebody's considering putting on a beautiful lanai, a screen room, a pool enclosure. Talk to me about the process and the consultation, because that's so important.
Initially, the lead comes through. I make the phone call, and my specific request is, please explain the exact scope of work that you're requesting. And most people appreciate that, and they'll tell me exactly what they want. Whether it's a cage over a pool or a cage with a concrete slab, whatever. So I try to get that information up front. Do you want a concrete slab? Do you want pavers? Is your house single-story, two-story? If it's a two-story, we want to know if they're looking for a two-story cage or single-story cage. We get it's sort of a 5-minute initial consultation over the telephone before I schedule the appointment. And when I schedule the appointment, I come to the site. I've got all the answers, and in some cases, I'll even get a photo of the property before I get there. And I'm able to come up with some rough numbers before I even set foot on the property. Because people want to quote, it's all about pricing. They want to quote ASAP.
Yes.
So then we get to the site, and we get the more specifics, and then I return to my office, and I put the quote together and submit it. And typically, there's always a follow-up phone call, and in most cases, we're getting the chance to follow up and return to the site to further discuss or sign the business up. If I sign it up, let's say there's concrete involved, I will sign up a concrete contract because we have a separate concrete contractor that pours our slabs. We get all the initial paperwork. Of course, I do all the actual hard number field measurements, and it takes 30 to 40 minutes to take care of the paperwork to put the project into contracting. There's some legal documents that have to be notarized, and I take care of all of that. Building permit requires a boundary survey. HOA associations require the boundary survey with some markings on there. Of course, if there's significant HOA requests and requirements, we assist the homeowner with that. It's fairly simple. We've been doing it forever, so we know what to give them. In a lot of cases, I will write the contract contingent upon HOA approval, since the approval process may take 30 days, whereas the permit process may take 2 months. So we don't want to lose any additional time. And then we put it in play. And once it's in play, we don't know anything typically until the permit is either released or unless there's a problem with the permit. And depending on where it is, in most cases in Pasco, we're now receiving permits in about 2 months. Hillsborough, we're still 8 to 12 weeks, which could be 3 months. And then by the time the permits come through, HOA has been approved. Permit hits, concrete man gets the word. He goes to work. He usually has a slab poured in about 2 weeks. And with all, weather permitting, with all the luck that we need, we may have the cage up 2 to 3 weeks after that, providing that we don't run into snags with materials being backordered, which we've seen a lot of that of. We've seen a lot of that at this point. A lot of the insulated composite roof panels have been backordered 6 weeks minimum, and we're understanding that it's not really the roof itself that's not available. It's the aluminum skin that covers the front and back of the panel. That cannot be readily available for the manufacturer of the roof to put the roofs together to get them to us. So they've been backordered, which is unfortunate. I signed one in December, and unfortunately we just installed it last week because of the roof backorder. And it's a shame because customer sits and waits, and we sit and wait, and the manufacturer of the product sits and waits, and it's just a sit and wait game. And I'm expecting that process to change real soon. I'm expecting that to be very much improved upon over the next several months. There's a lot of talk that it will be improved upon over the next several months, which makes it easier for everybody because it's not pleasant to sell a job the beginning of the year and install it halfway through the year.
Right.
But that's not typical. That's only on certain products when they're backordered significantly. But most of my cages are going in. If there's concrete and permits, which there's always permits, most of my cages are going in within about a 4-month time frame.
Okay.
So, and since Pasco is now quicker on the permits, we're expecting Hillsborough to speed up a little more on the permits. So I'm hoping that is the case. And that pretty much covers it. Did you have further questions about the process?
No, that's great, man. That's very detailed. I appreciate that. And you always say ask questions. Make sure they ask questions, and there's no silly question or bad question. Ask questions. And Fred Muth, he's the professional in the business. Tampa Screens and Aluminum, longtime friend of the program here. We appreciate you, Fred. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for all of that great information on the process.
Fantastic. Bye-bye.
Take care, man. All right. Hey, another great show. That was awesome information from Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. How about John Long, United States Institute Against Human Trafficking? And shout out to Alex Lima as well, Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts. Another great show. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another and be a force for good in the community. We'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.